What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to today's video. My name is Jaymes. Today we are gonna be learning on some financial principles. Friday is actually gonna be Finance Friday. I have actually analyzed so many aspects of life, and in as much as I really wanted to talk about so many aspects of life, because I like categorizing life into 6 things. We have the spiritual aspect, the mental aspect, the physical, financial, career, social. And of course, not forgetting, we also have the entertainment aspect of life, the leisure aspect. That's number 7. Number 8, we have the governance aspect, things to do with law, administration. And number 9, we have the nature aspect. Alright, so there's so many things in life, but I've realized, let me focus on the financial, spiritual, and social. Right? So the financial is somehow connected to the career, because one way or another, most of the things that you do in terms of your business or your work is going to generate some income, so it's somehow related to the financial. The spiritual is somehow related to the mental, because what you believe affects your mindset. And then we have the social aspects, not much related to the physical, but we try to tackle a bit of the physical. All right, so today being a Friday, we're going to be doing something financial. All right, so this is also something that I'm educating myself on, so we're going to be educating each other. All right, so put something in the comment section, let me know which actually principles are you following financially. So this information is actually courtesy of ChatGPT. These days we actually don't have to struggle. I mean, the days of struggling are over. You can actually ask AI about anything and they're gonna give you a response. You can use AI to simplify your process, increase your productivity. We don't actually have to get tired in this day and age. All right, so because you didn't have the mind to actually Google on the financial principles, I'm going to be taking you through. Of course, this is actually part of me learning and you learning, so we're going to be educating each other. So number 1 is that you need to spend less than you earn, and we actually see here that the principle about spending less than you earn is that this ensures that your expenses are consistently lower than your income. So let's take, for example, if I'm earning 50,000, there's no way I should be spending 70,000, because that's typically way above what I earn. So if I'm earning 50,000, I should be spending something around I think there's usually the 50-30-20 rule. 50% towards your needs, 30% towards your wants. So something to do with 50% is actually somewhere to do around 25,000 should be going towards your needs, and then 30% of 50,000 is something around 15,000. So if you combine the two, that's around 35,000. All right, should be somewhere your expenses. All right, so and the reason behind this is that this creates savings and prevents debt accumulation, allowing you to build wealth over time. All right, so let me go and let's go to a new tab. All right, and okay, let's go to slides. Let's see what's there. All right, this is where we're gonna be making the notes. Remember, we are learning together. All right, so let's start a presentation. All right, so I don't even want the title or the subtitle anyway. So if I am earning 50,000, then 50% is actually 25,000. This is actually part of my needs following the 50-30-20 rule. Okay, then the 30%, all right, 30% now should be 15,000, and then 20% is now what, 10,000. All right, if you combine this 25 plus 15,000, that is 40, 10, 50. All right, so I think that's okay. So I am earning 50,000 and I decide to use the 50-30-20 rule. 50-30-20 rule. Then 50% should go towards my needs. All right, so this is needs like food, shelter and clothes. Then 30% should go to your wants like entertainment. Then 20% should go to your savings. All right, stroke investments. Now, one thing I've realized about spending less than you earn is that the reality on the ground is that you cannot cut expenses beyond a certain level. All right, you cannot cut your expenses beyond a certain level, because beyond a certain level then you're now suffering. All right, so let's assume, for example, the market price of, let's say, shelter is, let's say on the minimum is 5,000 Kenya shillings, but you're earning something like 10,000. all right, so typically if you'll be spending 5,000 on rent, then you're only left with 5,000 to do other things of life, that is including food, including clothing, including entertainment, including savings. So typically that 10,000 doesn't make any sense. And I think this is what is actually creating a problem in our generation, because we are trying to save money, we are trying to invest, we are trying to get the 30% for the wants, the 50% for the needs. But even with the budgeting that we are doing, somehow things are not working out. And the problem is that we need to sort the income. All right, sort the income. You need to sort the income, because once you sort your income, you'll be able to live a certain kind of lifestyle. All right, the reality on the ground is that we all earn different income. Somebody's earning 100,000, somebody else is earning 50, another 25,000, another 200,000. So we are all different, but the principle of actually living within your means, that is spending less than you earn, follows such rules. All right, now this 50-30 rule is not cast on stone. You can actually adjust it to 60 20 10, because at the end of the day it is actually based on your current circumstances. I mean, for some people the needs is just too much. Others may just decide, you know what, I'm okay doing 25 and then 70 and then 5. all right, so it's up to you. This one is not cast on stone, but the idea behind this is that you should actually be spending less than you earn so that you're able to save something. All right, so this is financial principle number 1. And I think because I don't want this video to be so long, let's do the next one. So number 2 is that you need to pay yourself first. All right, and what simply this means is that the principle here is that you need to prioritize saving and investing a portion of your income before spending on anything else. I think I am guilty as charged. I am guilty as charged because I have actually realized that what I have been doing is that I have been trying to save after spending. Alright, trying to save after spending. So the principle here is that we are being told we should actually be saving. Alright, so trying to save after spending is actually quite tricky, because I've actually found myself in such situations. You say, you know what, let me keep this money. If there's something that's gonna be that I'm not gonna spend on, then that's gonna be the saving. But I have found myself not being able to save because I decided not to save before I actually spent the money. Alright, so you're supposed to save before you spend. But I've actually realized if you don't sort the income, savings is gonna be hard. Because let me tell you, to be honest, if your needs, you're not able to meet your needs, it's gonna be difficult to save. And that's why we need to fix the income first, so that you are able to save something. Anyway, the principle here is that you need to save before you spend. So what this means, if probably you're somebody who is paid at the end of the month, all right, so let's say you're paid 50,000. so when that money comes, what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to set aside something like 20%, which is 10,000, set it aside in a money market fund or a savings account, and then spend the other money that you have. Budgeting. Through budgeting, you can now play with that money. All right, but what most people do is that they decide, you know what, let me use this money, whatever's gonna be left, that's what I'll save. But things get tricky, because before you realize it, everything you've already spent everything, and there seems to be very little to actually save. So those are the two principles. And the reason behind this is that this helps in building savings automatically and ensures that future financial goals are funded. All right, so I think this is actually part of paying yourself first. All right, so if there's a way you can actually automate your savings, I think this would really help. If there's a way you can actually automate your savings. All right, let's go to the third one, and then we'll call it a day for today. Principle number 3 is that you gotta budget. And the principle here is that you need to create and stick to a budget that allocates income towards necessary expenses, savings, and discretionary spending. The reasoning behind it is that budgeting helps in tracking spending, identifying wasteful expenses, and ensuring that financial goals are met. Right, let's go to a presentation. Now, what they're actually saying here is that you need to budget. Okay, you need to budget. I think for me, I've actually categorized my aspects into various things. All right, so I think what really has helped me is I spent like 2 months just writing down every coin, tracking where every coin went. So that means every single day I had to sit down and actually write, this is how I spent my money. All right, but for more accuracy, I actually used to write after every expense. So for example, if I actually travel and go somewhere, I write down this was actually for transport. I write down transport, this is how much I spent. If I go and eat somewhere, I write this is actually food, and I write food, this is how much I spent. Then if I maybe go for entertainment, I write this is actually for an event, this is how much I spent. If I buy a book, this is how much I spent, this was actually for a book. So you can actually track your expenses for like a month or 2 months, and then at the end of the month you're supposed to analyze, have I actually spent things based on my budget? Now remember, we actually said here that you need to spend less than you earn, and the rule is this 50 30 20 rule is actually a common rule for budgeting, and as we have said, you can actually adjust it to 75 25 5 or 60 20 20. So it all depends with you. All right, 60 20 20, you can decide 75 25 75 25. all right, it's all up to you. So what you need to do is that you need to list down your expenses, all right, for like 2 to 3 months. All right, so this will help you just to be able to gauge where to be able to gauge what your expenses are like and be able to categorize them. So once you have listed the expenses, at the end of like the 3rd month, you need to now come and categorize your expenses. All right, so for example, this one went to food, this one went to shelter, this one went to clothing. All right, then maybe we could have transport, and then something like education, then something like health, something like entertainment, something like lifestyle, something like internet. All right, so once you have categorized, you need then now to come and actually do like an analysis. All right, so how much did you spend on food for the whole month? Right, so food for the whole month. For example, if we are earning 50,000, then 30%, 50% should go. If we use the 50 30 20 rule, 50% should actually go towards basics. So means food, shelter and clothing should be within something like 25,000, and then 30% can actually go towards transport, health and education, so that is something like 15,000. And then so you see, I think actually you see it's becoming tricky now, because actually these things are still not yet catered for. So maybe we can put 5,000 for all this, and then now we are left with savings stroke investments 5,000. okay, so this is actually part of what we call budgeting. So the advice here is that you need to set your rule, whether it will be 50 30 20 60 20. Then you list down your expenses for like 2 or 3 months, then you categorize your expenses, then you do an analysis. Right, you do an analysis of how you spend or your expenses in that month, so that you see whether they were within the 50 30 20 rule or the 60 20 20. All right, so there are two very important things. Number one is that within the month you need to track your expenses, and then at the end of the month you need to analyze whether you are able to stick to the budget, so that if you are not, then you can readjust for the next month. And this is actually very important, because once you actually get a clear picture whether you overspent or you are way beyond budget or way below budget. You'll be able to, make a choice that, what, because it seems I am actually, my expenses are very high, I need to earn more. What can I do to earn more? Or maybe you're underspending. You ask yourself, what can I do to actually improve so that I actually don't minimize too much? Anyway, so we've been able to do 3 financial principles, and I think that's okay. So that's it for today's video. See you in the next video. Fridays we'll be doing things to do with finance, so let me know in the comment section how we can help each other and any financial principle that you want us to tackle. So that's it for today, guys. Remember to like, share and subscribe. My name is Jaymes Kuriah. See you in the next video.